Call this meeting to order, 6:06 p.m. Roll call, please.
Jose Luis Perez, present. Javier Ramirez, present. Anthony Resti, present.
Joel Garcia, present. Okay, roll call, okay. And it's I call a quorum. Yes, we have so any council member to excuse any absent council member? No, there's nobody else, right? Okay, invocation. Anybody from the office want to do the invocation? You volunteers? Nobody?
No. I'll do it.
Okay, there you go, there you go, Chief.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for the blessing for us to be able to be here today, for us to be able to serve our community. We ask and pray that you keep everybody that's involved in public safety and with the city that's out there serving the community safe and free from harm. We ask that you protect our citizens and keep everybody free and safe. In your name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to
the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Apologize for that. We left the flag. Where were we?
At the youth center.
At the park.
We should face the north.
Yeah, we should have faced north, but
tradition.
yeah, it's all right. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. Certified posting of agenda.
Mr. Mayor, the agenda was duly posted 72 hours before the meeting as required by state law.
Thank you. Do we have any public comments?
No one signed up with me. I don't know if anyone's in the office.
Consent agenda?
Yes, on this item, Mayor, these three items, there were some technical changes that we reviewed with council, and so we recommend approval as so noted.
I'll entertain a motion.
I motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Arabia, second by Mr. Ramirez. Any questions? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Both same sign. Motion carries. Under new business. we have, discussion and possible action regarding the resolution of appreciation for the Ramirez and Rene Flores for service as municipal court judges. Staff of municipal court.
Mayor, I want to table this for next meeting since there were not
Or do we just take no action?
no action for today.
Table, that way we bring it back.
We'll bring it back to the next meeting.
Okay, have a motion to table.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Perez, a second by Mr. Ramirez. Any questions? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Discussion and possible action on regarding a resolution providing for the appointment of additional members to the U.S. Census Complete Count Committee.
Mayor and Council, on this item, the council created a committee a few weeks ago and appointed 2 members. The purpose of the committee is to try to serve as a liaison with the community, to educate the public about the importance of the census. And so it really should be a lot of community-based individuals there, from schools, from businesses, from churches, civic organizations. And so this is an opportunity to appoint more members to that committee. Other cities in the valley have already done that, and so we really need to start mobilizing the committee.
Who starts looking for the people? Do we start appointing or volunteers? Or?
We already have some
We have.
appointees.
Yeah, most of the committees have 10, 15, depending on the
Do we need more?
size. Again, the committee's only gonna be as successful as how many members are on there reaching out to the schools or to the businesses or to the churches.
Who are
And so-
those two? I know Mateo's one.
Chapa?
Mr. Chapa and
Mr. Jones, Tom
Mr.
Jones.
Jones.
okay,
Well,
And if it's appropriate, I'd like to offer my services to the community.
that's fine.
You have another one? And I guess I'll recommend anybody out in the audience, if they know anybody who would like to join this committee, I guess it's you.
Commissioner, I've been to.
If you don't mind coming to the podium,
Go ahead.
and
For the
stating your
record.
name.
Esme Garcia, EMPD. I've been to
I've been part of the census committee, the Hidalgo County Census Committee since the first meeting, so I have the documentation. I can train anybody if they'd like
Okay,
to.
good. So you're volunteering to be on the committee? Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's
Very
four.
good, thank you. And if anybody else, have anybody else who wants to join? No? Wow.
So how many will we have?
Five?
Okay.
We can get the names in the form of a motion.
Yes.
What are the names? Okay,
Would be Rachel Chapa, Esme Garcia, and Beja Garcia.
And
additional?
And
additional.
additional members, right,
Additional.
along with Mr. Jones and Mr.
Anybody
Chapa.
else?
So I guess we'll continue to entertain applications for this.
So we'll take no action on here?
Well, we need to vote on the
Adding
motion.
those three.
Motion. Motion to approve.
A second.
A motion by Mr. Ramirez, a second by Mr. Perez. Any questions? All those in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item C, discussion of possible action regarding a nomination to the Rio Grande Valley Walk of Fame as part of the Hidalgo's Border Fest 2019. Madam Secretary. I'd like to make a note. What do you want to do?
I nominate Arnoldo Peña as a nominee for the Walk of Fame.
I second that.
I have a motion by Mr. Ramirez and a second by Mrs. Saravia. Any questions? Discussion?
How many people do we have in the
We can only one.
We can only choose one.
Yeah,
Mr. Peña is considered like a pioneer here in our city. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, he built our fire station. Is that
City
correct?
Hall? Yeah.
And City Hall. And he's been very instrumental in building many homes here in our city. And that is why I choose Arnoldo Peña.
Any other questions?
And just to review, Mayor, some of the former nominees from Palmview going back to 2006, we had Gerardo Perez, Irene Garcia, Gracie Flores, Aida Rivas, Noé Ruben Munoz, Alfredo Rodriguez, Heracilio Vallarriat, Ramiro Vela, Joel Garcia Jr., Jose Rolando Peña, and Ricardo Barrial.
Okay, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Those
Aye.
opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item D, discussion of possible action regarding a resolution providing for appointment of members of the Board of Adjustment, staffed by Planning and Code Enforcement Department. I guess what this is about is,
since it was my place that is taking part, I would like to nominate Wally Barrera. He's an educator here a young educator here in our district. So I would like for him to take my place.
okay, a motion and nomination by Mr.
I motion to approve.
Okay, a motion by Mr. Ramirez,
Second.
second by Mr. Ureste. Discussions, questions?
I only have one question. They're in the city, within the city limits?
Yes.
Okay.
Are we nominating, sorry, are we nominating three on that one?
So we nominate another one, we need one more.
Okay, I'm gonna nominate Velia Gonzalez as well.
Bella Gonzalez, okay.
Well, Mayor, there's a motion and a second on the
Yeah.
one nomination.
Right.
So
And
we'll just do the other one then.
and we can vote on that one unless you want to amend the motion. But you can vote on this one right now and then do the next one,
forth your nomination.
or you can amend the motion.
Okay, well, I guess what the motion's gonna be, it's gonna be to nominate both of them at the same time. So we have a nominate.
To amend the motion? Then amend the motion.
Amend the motion.
So Commissioner Perez has to amend the
Yes.
motion.
Nominate for both.
Yeah, I make the motion for Wally Barrera for the,
Board Barrera and
And Velia Gonzalez.
and Velia
Bella
Gonzalez.
Gonzalez.
I motion.
Okay. We have a motion by Mr. Ramirez,
Is there a second?
Second.
second by Mr. Ureste.
On the amendment. You need a second on the amendment.
Vote.
Okay, this is second on the amendment. Who did the second on the amendment?
Ureste.
I did.
Okay, Mr. Ureste on the amendment. Any questions, discussion?
We have Mr. Flores here with our Planning Code Enforcement Department.
Because I want to advise you on this one. Mr. Joe Gonzalez resigned from the zoning and Board of Adjustments. So
Okay.
there would be one more
Another
nomination. Yes.
Um,
Dr. Gonzalez, right?
Yes,
Oh.
yes, he resigned.
And so that would be a total of how many members on with the resignation?
After these two nominations, it'd be 6 with him resigning. So we need one,
We
we
need
would
seven.
need one more.
Okay, so we're closed on this motion or not?
We got it. Amend it again.
Yeah.
We amended it. I make a second motion.
Yeah, you could
Well,
amend
just,
it.
let's
again.
Well, let's finish this one. Okay, any other questions, discussions? All those in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
That's
Those opposed, motion carries.
All right, now I make a
The
motion
amendment,
to,
Approval of the amendment, now we're gonna do the nominations, the 3 of them, so you gotta amend your,
I nominate Rebecca
Well,
Solis.
hold on a second. I think we approved the motion, the amendment, now you have to approve the motion. And then you can go back. The motion doesn't have, we had the original nomination, that's the amendment with the second. Then you voted on the amendment, now you have to vote on the motion to approve the 2.
yes.
Okay,
Okay, I need a motion.
I motion to approve the amendment.
To remove the.
To nominate.
Second.
No, it's a vote on
It's a vote, so it's
the
an
original motion.
On the original motion.
All those in- yeah.
Okay, I have a motion from Ms. Arabia to go by the original motion, right?
Right now, it's a vote on the original motion. All those in favor and all those in favor.
Oh, okay. Just
Any
call the
discussion,
vote.
questions? All those in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign, motion carries.
So we have the 2 vacancies filled, and now you can fill the 3rd one with a motion.
Okay, you want me to?
I make motion to appoint Rebecca Solis.
I second that motion.
Okay, I have a motion by Ms. Arabia to appoint Rebecca Solis, second by Mr. Ramirez. Discussions, questions? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign, motion carries. Okay, discussing possible action regarding the resolution providing for the appointment of members to the TERS Board of Directors by Mr. Michael Liu.
Good evening, Mayor and Council members, Michael Leo for the PMDD. This will allow the City Council to make an appointment to the TERS Board. As you know, we created the TERS Board last year, and we're in its first year of operations.
Okay. Okay, so we just
Just one
appointed.
appointment?
At this time, if you want one appointment, then if we want to do something in the future, we can reconsider maybe additional appointments in the future.
Okay, I make a motion to appoint Mr. Joe Phillips.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Arabia, appoint Joe Phillips, second by Mr. Ramirez. Question, discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign.
Question, the council stays as
Yes.
board, or do we need to make a motion for that?
Well, if we want to reappoint the members of the original board or address the original members of the board, I think we can bring back that to a future meeting, maybe the next meeting. But I think the way that this one is worded, it's adding a member to that
Okay.
board.
Thanks.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Liu.
Thank you.
Discussion and possible action regarding the removal of former, we're gonna keep no action on that one.
No action on that item,
No action on
Mayor.
that, no action on item F. On G, discussion and possible action regarding an ordinance approving the adopted final project and financing plan and approved to adopt by reinvestment zone number 1, City of Palmview, Texas Board of Directors, staff by Michael Liu.
Just stay.
Apologies. On this particular item, again, Michael Leo for the record, on this particular item, the church board met last week, the initial board meeting. They adopted the project and finance plan. You should have the actual plan in your board as well, I'm sorry, in your packets. What this financing plan does is by statute, we have to have a project and finance plan. It lets the public know, lets everybody know what is the intent of the TERS and what are the projects that they want to do. If you go through the packet, there'll be a list of projects that we have identified right now that need to be identified in advance in hand. This is not the kind of board where you get money and then you start doing the things that you want to do at the time. We kind of identify those projects beforehand, so it's known to the public, it's known to the entities that are participating. In this case, that's Hidalgo County. Based on the projections that the TERS for the 20-year build out with the contribution of Hidalgo County at 90% of their tax increment and with the city at 90%, we're estimating revenues in the amount of $23 million. So basically, you have a long-term planning, a budget plan of about $23 million. There should be a list of projects here. I'm going through this right now. that'll tell you, okay, what are we gonna use those $23 million for? What we talked about with the church board is we have about 1.9 for drainage improvements. Drainage is a huge issue, not just countywide, but locally as well. We felt the effects back in June. So this will allow you to do 1.9 in drainage projects. Another big one is road improvements of 1.8, 700,000 for street lights. We have 1.25 for park improvements. That's to existing park upgrades or to new parks in the future. We have the Main Street infrastructure development of 2.2 million, and that's for the property that was acquired by the city, by the PMDD, here to the south towards the expressway. We have street reconstruction, the infrastructure improvements of 1.4. That's something that was worked out with AWA and the city, that there's going to be 1.4 in paving. If the church is able to generate enough funds, it can help the city in meeting that commitment and kind of offsetting some of those costs. Then we have public facilities. Public facilities, we have a library of 900,000, soccer fields for 750,000, a public safety building of 3 million, city hall improvements of 90,000, community events center of 4 million. Similar to the event center that was done by Mission with their church on Sherry Road. This allows for a budget item for that purpose, and an administration building of 3 million. Now those facilities we took from the city's capital improvement project plan that was adopted earlier this year, as required by your charter. So this would help also the city alleviate the burden of some of those costs. If again we need to think long term, these are 20-year projections, these are 20-year build outs. So as the revenues start coming in, the church board can start allocating money to some of these projects. So this is what's up before this. By statute, has to be approved by the city council as well.
I motion to approve.
Motion by Mrs. Sarabia,
A second.
second by Mr. Ramirez. Discussion, questions? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Good
you,
job,
sir.
Michael, on the plan.
Thank you.
Discussion and possible action regarding a ratification of submission for financing application to PMDD through the revenue program for wireless communication equipment in an amount not to exceed $106,000.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, for Council Rachel Chapa, Director of Finance. This item is continued effort to bring our asset forfeiture program into compliance.
I motion to approve.
I second.
Motion from Mr. Ramirez, second from by Ms. Sarabia. Discussions, questions?
Thank you.
All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Discussion and possible action regarding the municipal court presiding judge and interim judge appointment, setting the compensation, approving a contract, and adopting a corresponding ordinance amending 2019 budget. Staff by municipal court.
Mayor, I would like to take this item to the executive session.
Okay. An executive? We don't need a question. Ready?
Yeah, I second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Pettis, a second by Ms. Sarabia. Questions, discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay. Let's see. Item J, discussion and possible action regarding an authorization to enter into a loan note with government capital to finance an ambulance, staffed by fire department. Good afternoon, Chief.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and City Council. Jerry Allen is Fire Chief for the record. That is the only financial institution that submitted a quote to us. We did reach out to several other banks, but they were the only ones that were able to provide us a firm quote. I did talk to our finance director, so she's aware of it as well, so that's what we're recommending.
And we are looking for financing on this because, why?
Because we need to pay the
Because it was already purchased, right?
The first one.
Before the first one.
first one.
This one was already in the agenda before, right?
What we did, Councilman, is that we had this item included in our capital improvement plan in terms of purchasing the second ambulance. We took delivery on it, was it last month?
Yeah, about mid to late November.
And so we were hoping to pay them off of our existing revenues, but that was not possible. We were waiting longer than we thought for our Medicaid reimbursements. And so that has finally come in. And then also the delinquent accounts was taking longer than we thought. So because of those reasons, we've had to arrange for financing. So this is our backup plan.
And since the last meeting, we actually did receive our Medicaid number, so we have actually submitted for the back pay on that. So that's the reason why we're trying to get this out now and then reimburse once we get the revenues in.
Okay, Bridge Job Director of Finance, just to clarify, the first ambulance was paid for the bond issued the first of the year, so that one is paid off. We have to clear title on that one. This one is a second ambulance that we anticipated purchasing with anticipated revenues from the billing proceeds. It's number 2.
Have a motion by Mr. Ramirez, a second by Ms. Arabia. Question, discussion. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Discussion and possible action regarding authorization to, discussion and possible action regarding approval for ethics ordinance. City Attorney.
Mayor Pro Tem, council members, councilwoman, good evening. Mayor Pro Tem, I would advise that we move this one to executive session so we can discuss it more in depth. And
Okay,
then
entertain a motion for executive.
I so move.
So,
Second.
motion by Ms. Arabia, second by Mr. Ramirez. Question, discussion. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. The motion carries. Discussion and possible action regarding approval. Discussion and possible action regarding ordinance adopting a municipal thoroughfare plan, that by the Peter Engineering.
Mayor, on this item, you have a copy of the plan that's been proposed. You have the map there on the dais. And this is due by, at the MPO by the end of the month. They want it in the form of an ordinance. We did not have that at the last meeting, but we do have that in the proper format.
Are we ready to go forward now?
Yes, sir.
I make a motion. A second.
Motion by Mr. Ramirez, a second by Mr. Lester. Questions, discussions? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Discussion and possible action regarding payment to Texas Cordillera for the Homa Road wastewater collection project.
Mayor and Council, on this item, this is the project that we had started, but we are under a court order not to continue. Consequently, the contractor has had to be on hold for no fault of their own, and resulting in the delay and the additional cost. We were able to work with them to negotiate the cost down significantly, and so we recommend approval.
I motion.
Motion
Second.
second by Ms. Arabia. Questions, discussions? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
How much, how much are we talking about?
Do you have that amount, or?
Same sign. Motion carries. Discussion of backup for Medicare EMS, staffed by fire department.
On this item, Jerry Lenny's fire chief for the record, on this item, just to advise the council that Medicare EMS did reach out to us. We do have an agreement with them for assistance, them assisting us and us assisting them. Currently, Medicare EMS does hold the contract for the city of Mission, so they have reached out to us in the event of, as an example, a major accident within the Mission city limits, that they would reach out to us for us to assist them. Likewise, them with us. So just to kind of advise the council, if you happen to see one of our ambulances within the city of Mission, that's what's going on.
We're backing up.
Backing up Medicare,
EMS.
correct.
Okay, Medicare.
And vice versa with us, if we're busy, they're gonna come and back us up as well.
Okay, I only have a discussion item on this one, so.
Yeah, that would just suffice.
Well, thank you. All right. Okay, we'll go to discussion of possible action regarding the renewal for emergency medical service medical director agreement.
On this item, Mayor Pro Tem and City Council, the state of Texas requires us to operate under a medical physician's license, and specifically an emergency room physician. Dr. Kenneth Abrack has been our medical director since the inception of this project. He's pretty much developed all of our protocols that we operate under. He pretty much tells us what we can and what we can't do.
Who's that you?
Dr. Kenneth Abrack. He pretty much tells us what we can and what we cannot perform within the field, and he's a very good medical director. He has had multiple trainings with our staff with the protocols and procedures, cardiac procedures, things of that nature. So we would recommend to renew the agreement with him for him to continue providing those services to us.
And everything stayed the same?
Yes, ma'am. Everything's the same. The only difference is that we want to have a 1-year term. That way we have our options open for the following year.
Oh, okay. I motion to approve.
Motion by Ms. Arabia,
A second.
second by Mr. Pettis. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, discussion and possible action regarding authorization for submission of a grant application for municipal library, staffed by Police Department and Community Outreach.
Want to speak? Good evening. Good this, that's me, PMDD. So, we want to submit a, grant, and that is to start off, and that is the $5,000 grant, and that is to get us, basically, computers, books, everything that's necessary, and then after that, we go ahead and go for the big one. So, that's
Just to apply for the grant, then, right?
this is just to apply for the grant, yes.
Right, and we're applying for 5,000?
It's a $5,000
Oh,
grant
it's
just to get it
5,000.
started. Yeah, once that's done, we apply for the big one.
Oh,
Is there a matching amount or no, or,
No, that's, yeah, that's how we started.
and the deadline is next month? and this is-
No, it's, June 1st.
Okay.
Oh,
June 1st.
for the deadline.
Yeah,
for
we
the-
didn't make it for the January 1st. We didn't make it for that one. So we have to get everything started, for the June 1st one.
I'll make the motion.
I said,
I don't think they wanted to.
Have a motion.
Oh, Aaron's good.
Yeah,
Mayor Pro Tem, City Council. Lieutenant Sepulveda with the Palmview Police Department. Also, additionally, with this same item, I'd like to direct you all to the screens up here. This is a preliminary sketch of what we are envisioning our library to be. It would be, if we were so allowed, to utilize the two portable buildings that we have in the back. And of course, we would go out for funding in order to do the extra, the addition towards the back that would actually have what is the librarian's office, the staff office, and the restrooms. In the center, we have a small reading courtyard that would have like the canopies. We would include planters in order to add a little bit of color and the greenery to it, but we would be utilizing the existing sidewalk and the existing parking stalls. There's already mature trees in the area, so therefore it's already has somewhat of a facade for it. There's also lining of trees, which is the stars. I apologize for the stars, I have no trees in the software. But additionally, on the left side of the screen, we have these circles that denote the tables for an outside reading area. Again, that one would also be with the canopy. I'd also like to take the opportunity to formally ask our mayor and city council for permission to go out and request donations for many of these. There's, for example, Home Depot. We can approach them for donations, like for example for the planners or for the outside reading areas and things like that. So, but again, we need the formal permission from our city council in order to do so as per our city charter.
Is this the building where the old Boys and Girls Club used to be, or?
No. This is where the Palmview Head Start used to be.
Oh, okay, okay.
And what about what they're being used for right now?
We would need to figure out something.
Move them somewhere?
Yeah, well, I mean, this won't be from one day to the next, so they would allow us in order for everybody to best be served by everything. Now, additionally, I also wanted to ask you all for formal approval to go out for donations for items for our library, maybe the publishing houses, and we've had several different ideas that we've been playing with, so that we can start collecting items for the library. And we'll
What
get,
about working with the school district? I'm pretty sure they.
yes, we would, the school district would also be one of the ones that we would approach, but again, we need the formal approval from you guys in order to do so.
What about money? Would you take monetary donations?
Yes.
That, we would,
There's several people out there already willing to.
No, we've spoken about, because we've been working on this, different levels of sponsorship, like reach out to like our state reps and,
Anybody
Business
who's
owner
willing to donate?
and philanthropists around here.
Philanthropists.
You know, $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, because there's a lot of people, and you can put a brick or something with their name
Flag or
outside.
something, yeah.
there's, I don't want to mention names, but the owner of a very reputable car dealership. And she's very much into philanthropy, and I'd like the opportunity, or I'd like the permission to approach her as well, so that we can.
Alegas?
I second the motion, you already made the motion.
No, who made the motion?
Let me,
Been motion by Mr. Ramirez, second by Ms. Sarabia. Any questions, discussion? Those in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Looks like we're gonna get a library then, huh?
Yes, sir.
Discussion and possible action to ratify and or approve actions for the city council meeting, regular meeting held on November 20th, 2018. Staff by attorney.
Mayor Pro Tem, council members, this item is solely on today's agenda to ensure the citizens of Palmview that all the actions taken on November 20th are good. And I shall remind you guys that the local government code reminds us that all actions taken that day with or without that individual signature is still good as it was passed by a majority. Again, this item's only here to ensure the citizens of Palmview that business here is being conducted, in accordance with state and local
I
laws.
so move to approve and ratify.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Arabia, second by Mr. Ramirez. Portion, discussion. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item R, discussion and possible action to name baseball field at Palmview Municipal Park. Staff by Parks Department.
How many do we have?
Well, I have one name. We could,
We have, I don't know, we have a long-time baseball coach here in Palmview,
okay.
Leo Garza.
Diego Garza.
Yeah.
Leo.
Leo Garza?
Oh,
Can
Leo.
we look into who started the Boys and Girls Club?
Yes,
Well, I don't know.
I want to nominate Eloy Zamora.
Who?
That would be
Eloy Zamora.
Eloy Zamora.
I want to nominate, well, let's go one by one or todos juntos.
Who's Leo Garza? He's been for a
Leo-
long time.
Leo Garza was a baseball head coach here in La Jolla for many
I
years.
guess-
He was from Palmview, right, where credit union is.
Yeah.
Close by.
Also,
But that's
Oh,
one,
long time.
Yeah.
but Eloy,
Yeah.
Eloy,
Eloy Zamora.
Eloy Zamora.
Yeah.
I know him very well too.
So right now, I guess what we can do, we can nominate Eloy Zamora and Coach Leo Garza, and that, later on, y'all can bring in some other names.
How many more fields are there?
I don't know, how many fields are there?
Like 6.
There's 4, about 6.
Six?
So we're doing
As far
individual
as-
fields.
as far as the
That's the
baseball.
part.
No, not the park, individual fields.
Individual fields?
Yeah. Okay, so we have 2 right now, I guess we'll leave it open for the next 4. Yeah, okay.
So,
Okay, so I need a motion, entertain a motion.
Would you have some-
I'd like to nominate my grandfather, Macario Garza, also because he had a big part in making the Boys and Girls Club here in the city of Palmview.
Okay, so that's 3. Y'all want to take another one, so I guess one piece will get, you'll take it.
Yeah, for the next meeting, I'll bring it
Okay, I'm
in.
gonna take a motion to nominate these 3, we'll leave it open for the next 3.
I motion.
Okay, have a motion by Mr. Perez,
Second.
second by Mr. Ureste. Any questions, discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
You got the 3 names,
Yeah, yes,
Annette?
the 3 names.
Leo Garza, Eloy Zamora, and I didn't get the
Macario
first.
Garza.
Macario Garza.
Macario.
All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, those opposed, same sign, motion carries. Okay, discussion and possible action on a resolution providing an appointment of the members of the Palmview Youth Advisory Council. Yeah, staff by police department.
Mayor Pro Tem City Council, at this time, we've only received 3 applications from area youth, from Palmview Youth, for the Youth Advisory Council. I would like the permission to afford, for these to be appointed so that we can get the program off the road and perhaps entice more of the city's youth to join us. And for our new council members, the YAC, the Youth Advisory Council, basically what it is it's a smaller version of our city council, in a sense like a student council, but it is hosted by us, and they would sit and they would interact with our city council in order to address issues that affect the youth themselves. To begin with, if we are appointed these 3 applicants, I have asked a member of our attorney's staff to actually speak to the youth. She is an attorney herself, and that way she can help us. Yeah.
Mentor them.
Yeah.
But for now, it's gonna be those 3 then, right?
Yes, for now.
And the requirements are,
That they be of high school age, being 14 to 17, 18, and be from the city of Palm. Of course, we can entertain, just like in our Explorer post, we can entertain youth from just outside the city in our EPJ. But that would be entirely up to you.
So it's a different entity than the Explorers, right?
Yes,
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 yes.
yes.
The whole
They will be
Advisory
concentrated more on city government, and the Explorers will come on.
And they do fundraisers and they propose issues related to the youth, you know,
Correct.
in our city.
Correct, I have
That's why it's
already,
important that they be from Palmview, so
I think
We don't have a nominating, we don't have nobody who has applied or?
Yeah, we have.
We have three.
we have,
So far, we
we
have
have
three
applicants.
Yeah, we
Yes.
just need the
And at every
council
event that we've had, they've had a booth and tried to recruit people.
I think once we get it going, we'll have some more,
Yeah, the idea is to get a very, good mixture.
And how many
of-
people are we looking at?
I think like us, 6 or 7.
Actually,
It's about 7 to 8.
Seven,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes. Additionally, I've already spoken to that major dealership also to assist me with their first fundraiser. So once I get the group going, we can go ahead and start
Awesome.
pushing for that.
I second.
A motion by Mr. Ramirez, a second by Mrs. Sarabia. Questions, discussion? All those in favor, indicate by saying aye.
I,
Those opposed, same sign.
Sorry, I missed the discussion. Just if you can add this to the next agenda so we can bring you the names for to nominate more.
Do we want to name the three, include them in the minutes?
Yeah, just go ahead and name those
Individuals?
three. Yeah.
Okay. We have Daniela Gandaria, Marco Chapa, and Daniel Sarabia.
Daniela Gandaria is in,
she's in high school.
She's in high school.
Where?
Denise, Daniela Gandaria.
Yes, she was, as a matter of fact, she was singing at the Palmview Choir.
Right.
She had a solo at the Palmview Choir this past Posada.
Ah, okay.
So,
Okay, all those in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Financial report. That's by.
Good evening, Rachel Chapa, Director of Finance. These are October's financials. I just, for the benefit of our new council members, I'd like to explain how our reports are set up, that I report to you. And also that these reports are available on the City of Palmview website, and also with the agenda packet, as you see them here, they'll be also on the website. I do the reporting every month. For the previous month, it's on the second meeting of the month that I do the reporting for the previous month. These, you will get the spreadsheet that looks like this. Okay, if you come across the original column, the first column is the original budgeted amount. The second is for October. And then that would be what the numbers were for that month that I'm reporting on. And then the year-to-date, as we go further along, the year-to-date, of course, is gonna include every month.
And this is on our website?
Yeah, these are also on our
The public can
website.
go in there and see where our money's going.
Yeah, exactly. Transaction per transaction, because that's the second part of my little tutorial that I have here. So the last column is a percentage of the budget that we've already used up for that. So if you see, for example, the 120%, then it's that we've already gone over budget at that point, at that month. Okay, and then if we're required to do a budget amendment when we see that our numbers are shifting. And that is done two ways. The first way is that the city manager has the authority to do, to shift numbers within the department and the expenses. But if they're, without changing the overall, the bottom number, the original budgeted amount. Now, if it's an amendment that requires that the original budgeted amounts be changed, the total amounts, then that needs to come to the city council. Okay, so and then after that spreadsheet, you'll see a transaction detail by account attached, and these reports are by department, and the department heads get these reports also. You will see every single transaction for that month for that department. Okay, and then at the very end, you will have a report, the same report, the transaction detail report, and that would it would be the whole report broken up by account number, not by department. Okay, so you'll get everything, and all of these documents are available for review at the finance department on our website. If you need, if you want to see copies of individual transactions, for example, invoices, purchase order requests, we're able to provide those just at your request. So all of this is available to you and to the public. If the public goes, for example, they go onto the website and they see a transaction that they would like to know something more about, all they have to do is call us, go through PIR if necessary, and we give them copies of that information. All of this is transparent. We've applied with the Texas Comptroller's Office for the transparency program, which is called STARS. And we're waiting on a determination. If you go to our website and you click on financial transparency, you will see all information and audit reports going back several years, check registers, all of that is required, and all of it is required in raw data also. So our raw data would be Excel format, and you can just go in there, download, print. All of this is available to anybody, all of our city.
That's very good, Rick.
I noticed.
It's all about transparency.
Oh, that's what it is, yes, sir.
On the franchise fees, I noticed utility companies all pay franchise fees, am I not mistaken? For the
Well,
cities?
they're required to. Right now, we have an issue with Agua that we're working with.
I don't see a figure there for our side.
Our does not currently pay for franchise
What
fees,
should
and I
it
think
be?
that's the use of our right-of-ways, is that correct?
Yes.
Correct.
What is the standard for franchise fee?
It's typically a percentage of, it could be the revenues,
It's
like for the cable company, or the Republic Services does pay a
Yeah.
franchise.
But what is,
Public does
do you know what
Yeah.
off the top of your head what the percentage is for those?
It would depend on the different
Service
carriers,
rates.
like cable would be different than the solid waste collection.
It's
I
an
mean,
agreement, it's
I think we have like 2% for.
Like, I'd like to know how
Republic
much
Services.
our city is losing out because we don't have that franchise agreement.
And that's an issue that we've already forwarded a draft agreement to Agua, and so we're in discussions at the moment.
One way to determine that is to take ALBA's financial records, the revenues, if that's based on that, and then extrapolate the Palmview area from their total revenues. It would be ideal if they had broken up those revenues by the area that they service, and then it would be easier just to go and pull that, and then whatever percentage that you'd like to play around with, and that would be what would be the franchise fee that you could estimate.
Have you all done any research as to what other cities' franchise fee to the water districts are?
Okay, I think that because other cities have their own
yeah.
water
Oh, I
utility,
see.
that they're using their own right away.
Well, like Mission that uses Mud One?
Yeah,
We can agree to something, maybe a low fee would be good, just so long as they pay some kind of fee, I think it would be good, knowing that they are providing the services to us and to our members.
right.
It would
So
be
we're all
something,
getting
right.
And by the way,
But being that,
It's a cost of doing business.
yeah, HMUD does pay us franchise fees. I don't know what exactly it is, but we do.
Oh, that'd be interesting to know.
right.
Because I don't.
Maybe it'd be the
I'm
same.
not familiar with it.
I'd like to know how much it is, if you could figure that out.
I wouldn't want them to take it out on our members.
All right, so if there are any questions by any council members on the way that I do my reporting, of course, if you want anything done in a certain way so that it'd be easier for you, you can go ahead and request that for.
He's gonna find out.
We'll let you know, but everything is good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We will now be going into executive session at 6:50 p.m. 007-1, 007-2, 073, 074. All of the above. Don't worry about it.
Yo, you say.
All right. Sorry to keep everybody waiting. The end of the year meeting, you know,
Always the longest.
long meeting. Thank you for sticking around.
Dessert and coffee now?
Out of executive session at 8:52 p.m. Great.
Leo,
Oh, did we go back to the ones on the, it's a smaller. Leo, did we go back to the next one? Agenda?
Or just send it by email?
And then also.
Unless you want to.
K and
Okay,
I.
that's fine.
And I,
Do you want to?
K and I.
I want to report on something.
Okay.
That's
do I first? Oh, yeah, because we have more concern.
That was a miss.
I and then K?
Not K, no action. Okay.
No action. It was just I.
okay.
Oh, that is fine.
I.
Okay, I'm gonna start with item 6I. Seven I, I'm sorry, 7I. Entertain a motion.
Motion to approve as discussed in the executive session.
I second that.
I have a motion by Mr. Ramirez, a second by Ms. Sarabia, discussing executive session. Questions, discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay.
K.
Okay, we took no action on K.
Okay, so we go.
Table to executive.
For next meeting?
Okay, we're gonna go now to the executive session, section B, 9B.
This one's-
Discussion of possible action on relating to the Segovian city of Palmview.
Council members, as discussed in per executive session, with your all's permission, we're gonna, start to get the case moving in hopes to dismiss it here
Okay.
within the next 2 or 3 months.
I make motion to,
That's discussed.
as discussed in the executive session for items B.
That's it.
I second.
What else? I'm just.
Can we do all three? B, F, and G.
Okay, I have a motion for items B, F, and G.
You got a second on
I
that?
have a second by Mr. Perez. First one was Mr. Ramirez. Second by Mr. Perez. Question, discussion, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Meeting adjourned at 8:54 PM. Before we leave, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. It's our last meeting of the year.
Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad. and-
Prospero año nuevo.
No, we'll see you before the new year, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Merry
Okay.
Christmas.
Merry
and Happy New
Christmas
Year.
to everybody.
Merry Christmas to everybody.
TV.
Oh, okay, yeah, I forgot about that. Meeting adjourned.
Oh, I just want to report you guys.